today's the day that I'm finally gonna get this shot. So let's get ready and do it. Well, almost do it. Well, let me explain what I mean. The first thing that we had to do, it was the holidays and it was my wife's birthday. So we had to get the tree ready before the holidays in her parent house, and then we had to celebrate her birthday. So we went to a big wheel, kind of just sat over there for a while, chatted, looked at the view of the city, and then went back home to celebrate her birthday. And basically, I didn't shoot a shot. Could we run the sequence from before again, of the beginning, because we're gonna do it again. This day I was ready, set out a tripod, and then I realized that I only have one camera, so I have to grab mine from the shot you're just seeing. And the first time we want to shoot a shot, we want to take the chair outside and just remove it in Photoshop. But because it was her parents' house and she didn't want to take a chair down because it was from metal and then we need to clean it up and everything will be ruined, we had to find a different solution. So we set up a chair and I told her how she could possibly go and sit about it because it's really weird and confusing for someone who's not doing it. Set up the right positioning so you see all of her body, take the shot. Then we went outside and took the shot in the snow. And now it's time to Photoshop it. Well, first we open Photoshop and I already cropped her picture. Obviously what you could do is just use the technique I used and we're gonna hit to the channels of the mask. Gonna hit the mask, gonna hit the channels, and I already created this nice mask of hair. Obviously this is using Gluma and I won't teach it right now, but this will take too much time. Something else you could do is using the mask select tool and the magnetic lasso and just go around her body and mask everything you need. But again, I already did the mask to save us some time because there are a lot we need to go over. Now, after we got her, we got the assets of her and we got the background shot. What we're gonna do is we're gonna double click on the mask layer and open mask and select to see all of those properties. Now what we want to do is we want to check that the remember bottom is set and the edges are set, and you can just go ahead and look what looks fine to you, so the mask will look really fine. I'm just trying out stuff right now. Obviously what I did before is much better for the mask, and when you hit OK it's gonna create a new mask. Now I'm gonna delete mine because the original was looking better for me, so let's delete the new one and continue with this one. Now the next thing we are going to do is get the background. Obviously because it's a CR file we did a normal adjustment to it and hit the eye near hair layer to see both of them together. Now right now this looks fine but not well enough, so let's position her where we want. Hit Command T, drag her around, set the scaling, and great. So now we need to set her and give her the tone of the background. So we're gonna hit on the adjustment layers and add first of all brightness and contrast. We wanna hit Alt and hit on the line between my hair layer and the adjustment layer, and this will only affect hair. Now we can take the brightness up to match a bit the background and save some of hair detail, and also use the contrast to just get it a bit more contrasty as it should look. Now we're gonna hit hair layer again and we're gonna hit on the vibrance to get her a bit less colory because the shot is much more vibrant than hair. The last thing we are going to do is, if you want, you can hit exposure and a little bit change the offset to get more gamma or less gamma. Now I'm gonna do a little bit of it. You can obviously set the gamma that you want. I'm using the up and down keys to set the number, and once we're happy we're gonna hit the last thing is hue and saturation and just a bit shift the hue because we are going to change her color again soon, don't worry about it. So we got her into position, and now we want to hit Ctrl J or Command J if you're using Mac and create a duplicate of our background. We're gonna set it above all the layers because we want it to affect her and all the layers that we just created. So we're gonna hit Alt and hit on a mask, and it will reveal itself. And now we're gonna go into our layer and create a new mask so it would fit her layer. Now we're gonna see her bit shadow in the layer, and we're gonna hit blur and Gaussian blur. And we want this Gaussian blur to be a little bit high, and around 110 looks fine to me. I'm gonna hit OK, and now we're gonna see her vividly. Cool effect, but not what we are looking for. We're gonna change the opacity properties now, and we're gonna set it on color. It's looking too strong, so we're gonna take it down to around 10 to 20%. If you want to get it a bit higher, a bit lower, you can always change it, and obviously you can always get the shot a bit more blurry. The last thing we want to do is we want to get her into the background looking really nice. So we are going to again Alt on the mask layer, go to filter, blur, and add a Gaussian blur if around like 1 or 2%. So just it would look much more natural and much more fine, so her edges would look a bit blurry as the background, because our focus here was around a different area. Hold the shift button and go to the last layer, hit Ctrl or Command G to group everything into one group and give it a name, girl, and now we know that's all of her effect grouped over there. Now we're gonna hit Ctrl, Shift, Alt and N to create a new layer. You can obviously, if you're using Mac, it's Command instead of Control, and we're gonna hit our brush, click, right click, and we're gonna set the brush to the side because we wanna match the floor. What we're gonna do now is create her shadow. So we're gonna do a brush that matches the floor, and we wanna set it to the minimum hardness so it will be pretty soft. We're obviously gonna make it more soft later, but for now it would look fine, and get it to the size that we want. Great. Now we're gonna draw on the floor a shadow with her size. Now obviously this shadow is a bit too close to her for when the sun is coming, so I'm gonna hit Ctrl T or Command T and just drag the shadow a bit forward so it would look much more right in the place. Now the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take its opacity down so it would look a bit more like a shadow and not like a black hole, and we're gonna hit again our favorite blur, the Gaussian blur, and blur it a bit more so it would look more like a shadow and less like a blob. Hit OK, and great. So after we got all the settings how you like, I added another layer from Pixabay that I got, which adds another feel to the shot. What I did is I'm going to just reveal it. I made like a snowy shot that I found, and I hit it only with soft light and took the color a bit down to create this snowy feel. Obviously it's affect the background as well. Now we need to export this shot, so again with the crazy command I'm gonna hit Ctrl, Shift, Alt and W, and this will open the export box, and from here we can just hit export all because we want the picture original settings and save it. I already have a save, and now I'm going to Lightroom to add some adjustments. So let's see what we can do in Lightroom as well. So in this shot you can create more of your look, give it more style. So let's see a few things we can do. First obviously we want to take the picker and pick a snowy place so the snow would look white and not too much blue, because coldness does not come from a blue snow, it comes from a white snow because snow is really white. So we're gonna adjust it and we're gonna take our colors a bit back and obviously give the shot a bit more contrast, a little less exposure so it would look fine. I like this shot a little bit darker, not too much daylight, so I'll take the highlights down and I will lift a little bit of the shadows to get more details back. I'm gonna take the clarity a bit back to make it a bit more softer and dehaze the shot a little bit so I can get some of that contrast back, and that made a lot of color pop. So we're gonna take the vibrance and hit it again down. Now let's go all the way down to the colors, and we're gonna just go to the primary blue and shift it a little bit to still get the blue colors, not of the snow but all of the other things. And obviously we want to make our saturation of the blue and the aqua much more strong. So we got all of that setting down, and there are a few more things that I like to do. I like to add a bit of sharpness and a bit of luminance to my shots to make it a bit more kind of soft, and I use those tools to get extra softness. And we're going to add the radial filter to create a blob around here, and we set it up around here to fit all of her body. And we take the exposure a bit down with this, and this is just kind of like a tool to pull out the focus into her, and now she's looking more in the middle of the shot. And obviously we can just change the composition itself, make it a bit more tiny, and I want to go a bit down because I want to get rid of the bin that was in the side and reposition her down. And great, our shot looks really nice. We're gonna hit Ctrl Shift E or Command Shift E if you're using Mac, give it a name and hit export to export this shot. And after we're done all of that, well guys, thanks for watching this sort of vlogtorial, I could say, and I really like doing this kind of style. I will try to do it more compressed because it was my first time and everything was a bit kind of weird and problematic, but I really like this style. I think I could stick to it for a while. So I will see you in the next vlogtorial, I guess. Peace.